This means that this piece is perfect. Yocal Larn shop. I can release the pattern in French now. It's just a Shortie summer sock. It's so sweet. French anemone, because my color work tension is horrendous. Hi, my name is Maya, and welcome to episode 75 of my knitting podcast, where I share all my thoughts, process and other random stuff about all things fiber related, but mostly knitting. Today is the 6th of May 2026, and I'm coming to you from the French-speaking part of Switzerland where I live with my gecko. I have a ton of stuff to tell you about today, because I am going to catch up on the finished objects I haven't shown you in the last podcast, because there was no podcast during like a month and a half, so I was a bit behind and I had too much content. So today I'm going to try to catch up on that, which means I have 5 finished objects. I have 3 that I finished in the last 2 weeks, but 2 that are a bit older, and I have 3 works in progress, but one of them is just swatches, but there are a lot of swatches and they are big, so I consider this project already cast on. And as usual, no acquisitions, because I decided to not talk about acquisitions anymore in the podcast. And on top of that, I just haven't acquired anything, so double reason to not have acquisitions. And that's it. So first, as usual, what I'm wearing is one of my finished objects. It's finally my mixed Rib Cami that is completed after, I don't know, but it took a while because it's a very small gauge on very small needles, and it's a rib, twisted rib, mixed rib, as the name suggests, pattern, and it takes a long time. And I did a lot of frogging, but it's finally finished. The pattern is by Florence Miller, by the way. For once, it's not one of my patterns. And the yarn I used is Berry Natural by Woolberry Fiber Company, which is closing down. They are going out of business, which is very sad. Yeah, so it's the colorway Frost, and it's the non-spur wash fingering weight base. The lighting is terrible because it's super gloomy, so it's not gonna focus. Ah, finally. And I don't know why I'm showing you this. It's just it's just a fingering weight non-spur wash yarn, whatever. It's super mega soft, and I'm sure it's gonna peel a lot, but I have knit other like negative ease camisoles with yarn similar to this, or with this yarn, and it doesn't peel that much despite being next to skin soft. So I have high oh my god, I think it's gonna be difficult today. I have high hopes. It's gonna be a wardrobe staple. I can wear it as a layering piece because I made it super long so that I can tuck it in my pants. And I did some body shaping so that I can wear it not tucked in and it can still look nice and polished. And I don't think I can wear it in the summer because it's non-spur wash wool, so it's pretty warm. I mean, not super warm, but still I think it's going to be too much for the 35 degrees summer we have here in Switzerland. I did do the tiniest bit of helical knitting when I changed skins, because this is my second skin. I have like 45 grams left, and since it's hand dyed, I wasn't 100% sure I could do just like go from one skin to the other without doing anything. So I did a tiny bit. I think you can see, oh, I think it disappeared during blocking, but there is a bit of a something happening around here because there are the floats from when I changed the skin. And the float carries over 3 stitches every time, and since it's ribbing, it did leave a bit of a mark, but it's not too bad. But I had a little bit of a hiccup because I started changing yarn, alternating the skeins a bit too early, and I realized halfway through, like I had already knit maybe 15 rows, which is a lot with such small gauge, and I realized I would have to do that for like 30 rows because I had too much yarn left. So I unraveled a good chunk and I started helical knitting a lot later, but then I got carried away and I forgot to start. And then I only had like 2.5 rows left on the ball to do before having to stop. So I did helical knitting on like 6 rows or something, which is a bit ridiculous, but yeah, I think I would have been fine even without doing it, because you definitely cannot see there is a difference between the two. So whatever, but now it's done. And I'm not gonna rip back just for that. And regarding the body shaping, so I decreased 4 stitches on every 10th round until I had decreased all the extra stitches at the end rounds here. And then I went straight for a little while, and then I started increasing at the same rate, so 4 stitches every 10th round. And the fit is perfect. I realized that when I do this kind of body shaping, I want like negative ease at the bust, and then when I get to the waist, I want 0 ease. I don't want any negative ease here, because otherwise it's just uncomfortable. And then I really don't want negative ease below here, because otherwise it just rides up. And it's extremely annoying. So that's why I have this rate that, with the proportions of my body, it just works very well to do things like this. But it took me a lot of trial and error to find the perfect rate. So it's my golden number now. And there is another modification that I did, is that I didn't do the I-cord bind off at the bottom. I just bound off, that's it, like normal bind off. And I used the bigger needle. I think I knit. So I knit on 3mm and I used 4mm to bind off, and I bound off really loosely, so it's a very elastic bind off. Very comfortable. And one more thing, the last time I talked about this, I said I was a bit annoyed that I had cast on too many stitches at the underarm, because a whole story that I'm not gonna get into again, but yeah, I was like, oh no, I have cast on too many stitches and now it's gonna be a bit too big. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. I mean, it doesn't bother me, it's not too big. It would have been okay if it was smaller, but it's not too big, like it really doesn't bother me at all. So this means that this piece is perfect. I have nothing to say against it. It's just perfect. So I'm super, super happy, because like 100% perfect, nothing to complain, is pretty rare. This is like a S rank on the tier ranking of my summer tops. And regarding the leftovers, I have, as I said, 45 grams. So I have 2 options. I have another one of a very similar yarn that's bright red, and I'm lately a bit obsessed with the bright red and light blue pairing. So I'm considering maybe doing a striped top, but I don't really have enough, so I would need to add a 3rd color, which gets a bit complicated because it's already like a very bright pairing, like bright red and this. So I don't know. And if I cannot find anything, maybe scrappy socks as usual, or maybe my sweatshirt blanket. I don't know, but yeah, I will find something. Now we can talk about my next finished object, which I do not have with me because it's at my local yarn shop, but I can show you pictures. And they are so cool. So I'm happy to show you this piece that way. So it's my muscle tank. It's a design of mine that I released last summer. And I needed to do another sample because I am giving a workshop to knit your first summer top at my Yocal Larn shop. Local yarn shop. And we are using a yarn that I hadn't knit a sample with. It's Drops Bell. So I decided to knit another sample using this yarn. And I, of course, chose my favorite color, which is a dark teal or petrol kind of color. And the knitting process was very smooth. The pattern is excellent and super easy to follow. It's one of my easiest patterns, which is why we are doing it as a workshop for like beginner knitter. Like not beginner, you don't know how to knit, but beginner, you have never knit a garment. It's because it's quite easy. And I'm happy to report that all the students successfully did the short rows on the back and the shaping on the front neck, and I'm very proud of them, and they are a great group, and I'm super happy about that. But the workshop is given in French, because we speak French here in Switzerland, I mean in my part of Switzerland. So I had to translate the pattern, which I really hate doing. I'm gonna be honest, I really hate it, and I hated doing it this time again, but I did it. So I can release the pattern in French now, which is gonna happen at the end of the week or maybe beginning of next week, because the last course, it's a three course workshop happening on Saturdays, and this Saturday is the last course of the workshop, meaning after that we will have kind of proofread the whole pattern in French, so I can be 100% sure I don't have any typos left, because we found one typo, and I'm just gonna wait until the end of the course to be sure there is no other, and once the pattern is absolutely free of errors, I mean, the best it can be. Then I'm gonna do a pattern update to release the muscle tank in French. And I'm probably gonna do a little discount code. And I also wanted to mention something. Lately, like for a month and a half, the muscle tank is my #1 best-selling pattern, which has never happened before because it has always been the skitter skirt. Always. Since I released it, it was my first pattern. And summer, winter, whatever, it's always my best-selling pattern. I mean, except when I release a pattern, then the pattern I release is usually sells better than that. But this time, for the first time, the muscle tank took over. So it made me really happy because the skitter skirt still sold a lot of copies, but the muscle tank was even more. So yeah, I was really happy about that. And I figured maybe a little discount code could be helpful since it's so popular. Probably a lot of people would want to get it, but are waiting for a discount code. So it will happen this weekend or beginning of next week. Next week, depending on when I have the time to do the last little edits on the pattern in French. And that's it. No, there is one thing I wanted to mention on the sample I knit in Drops Bell. I had some gauge issues because I used Drops Bell, and the first time I cast on, I used 4.5mm needles, and the gauge was way too loose. So I cast on again with smaller needles, 4mm. But I unconsciously overcompensated because the gauge was too loose before. So I started knitting super tightly with smaller needles. So my gauge ended up too tight. And it didn't help that I didn't Shwatch. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. That I didn't Shwatch because even if I had swatched, I would still have tightened up during the actual thing. So sometimes swatching just is completely useless for me because I just changed my gauge between the swatch and the actual project. So I didn't swatch, but it wouldn't have changed anything. Swatch. So I'm gonna try to block it again and like stretch it out to see if I can make it a bit bigger, because for now it's like negative is almost a bit fitted, which is not necessarily a problem, but since the fabric is DK, it's just too heavy and I don't like heavy fabrics clinging to me. Like if I have something negative is, I want it to be fingering weight like this one, not DK weight. So yeah, I'm gonna try to block it again and see if I can make it better. But that's not for right now because I don't have it with me now. And there is one more thing, no, two more things that I did with the leftovers of this yarn. So I need this cutie that I have in my hair. Can I show you like this? I love those. It's an Augustins number 22 by Augustins DK or Anne-Sophie Velling. And I still had a little bit, so I did one super long I-cord that I cut in half, and then I did those with the leftovers. They are so cute. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with them, probably put them somewhere to decorate, I don't know, but they are super cute. So that's it for this finished object. Now we can talk about the finished object I actually finished during the last 2 weeks since the last podcast. I finished this beauty. Oh my god, I obviously just took it off the blocking mat, so it's still a bit stiff, but if I manipulate it a little bit, oh no, there's dust everywhere now. This yarn is really, really, really dusty. I should have done that outside, but too late now. Oh, it's a lot better. So it's the Plume top. It's a design of mine. The test call will be, I get this question all the time, like I've been asked at least 10 times via DMs. The test call will be at the end of June. No need to ask again, end of June. I'm not complaining, I'm just super happy that you guys are so excited about this one. It's a halter style summer top with a beautiful, very simple lace motif on the body. And it has a keyhole on the back so that you can actually put it over your head. And you close it with a ribbon. It's super cute. I'm so happy about it. And it's absolutely not bra friendly. I also got this question because it's halter style, so this part is really tight around your neck. And even if you have the crossing bra straps thing, it's still gonna show here because the neckline is not sitting on the shoulder, it's sitting on the neck. So yeah, not bra friendly, and it's also not no bra friendly because there is eyelets. it's a bit see-through. And mine, especially because it's white, so maybe if it was a darker color, it would be better. But you can definitely see the tits when I have this on without anything underneath, which I don't usually. I'm a no-bra girly. So I had to find a solution for the photo shoot. So I did buy nipple covers. I think that's how they're called. Because I don't want to buy a bra that I'm never going to wear just for the photo shoot, so I went with the other solution. So either you wear it at parties where it's appropriate to show your tits, or you do as I do and you have nipple covers, or you have one of those, how they are called, balcony bra? That's how they are called in French, but I'm not sure that's how you call them in English. The ones that just don't have the straps. That's perfectly fine. That would work absolutely perfectly. But I don't have those and I don't want to buy it. So yeah, not no bra friendly, but not bra friendly either. It's not friendly, but it's beautiful and it's very like polished and elegant. So yeah, not all your clothes are absolutely perfect and can be worn in any occasion, but I think it's okay. You need a little bit of everything in your wardrobe. And I have decided that I'm gonna make a dress version. I have been thinking about it since the last episode. I am doing it. And I will be using Pure Silk by Knitting for Olive, and I even think I have selected my colors. I think I want like a dark body. I'm gonna go with the color Plume because it's like dark but not navy blue because that's super boring. I find navy blue super boring, and it's not black either, and it's still a color, like it's dark purple. And purple goes well with green. I am obsessed with the pairing purple and green, so I also went with pea shoots. That's very bright and that's gonna contrast beautifully with the dark plum. And I figured I could do maybe the... when you have like one main color that has thick stripes, and then a super thin stripe, and then a middle size stripe, and then a super thin stripe again, and then the big stripe. I love that. So I think the green is gonna be like the middle stripe, and then for the super thin that's above and below the middle, I'm gonna go with, I forgot the name, but it's one that's like golden, because yellow and purple is beautiful. Same for like bright green and golden. Oh, I think it's gonna be awesome. So I'm very excited. I'm gonna get the yarn soon, and I cannot wait to start swatching. Oh yeah, and I forgot to tell you about the yarn. So it's Carla by Save the Yarn, and it's a lace weight that I held double to hit fingering weight gauge, like light fingering weight gauge, and it's a linen, no, silk and cotton blend, if I'm not mistaken. It's beautiful, but it's very dusty, as I mentioned. My last finished object is a bit of a surprise because it's something I cast on and finished almost within a day. It was last Sunday. It's a super cute sock. Oh, it's so precious. And it has a little bit of a picot edge and the cute tiny stripes. I'm showing you the ugly side. This is better. And yeah, it's just a Shortie summer sock. It's so sweet. Sweet is the right description because I used my sweet sock pattern, which is a free pattern on Ravelry. So the reason is kind of similar to the muscle tank I did earlier. It's because we wanted to give a sock workshop at my local yarn shop. Again, when I say we, I say Sandy and I. Sandy is the owner of the shop. But my sweet sock pattern, which we have given, I have given workshops for it a couple of times in the past. It's very popular and people ask for it all the time, but we were like, we cannot have a DK weight sock workshop in May or June. It's summer, we did fingering weight something. So I needed to cast on a fingering weight sample of the sweet sock anyway, which means I needed to regrade it anyway. And I was like, fingering weight, it takes a while during the workshop, so maybe we can do Shortie sock. Also, it's going to be better for summer, so a Shortie fingering weight. And then I don't like ribbing on something summery. It's just me. So I swapped out the ribbing for this cute folded over picot edge. And then I also wanted to add something fun, so I did the micro stripes. And I did this in almost, a day. I just did the bind off because I didn't have my needle with me when I finished it the first day. So yeah, this was super fast. And I used Drops Fable, which is the fingering weight sock yarn of Drops. The colorways, I'm not sure. I think it's Blé. That's in French. Yeah, it's the off-white and the olive green, I think, something. And I didn't use anything from my stash from that. I used leftovers from the shop that I just like took some leftovers with me last time I went, and then I need this, and I'm gonna give back the leftovers of the leftovers next time I go there. And the sock blocker is pretty fun. I think I haven't shown it on the podcast. It's something that was developed by Sandy, and it's 3D printed locally to us. They are like adjustable, so you can take this piece off, and then here, I'm gonna try not to break it because it's not mine, I have to give it back to the shop. Here, you can take this out, and then you can change the length, and once you have put this back on, you place this piece back here, and you can secure it by turning it, and then it's secure. So yeah, adjustable sock blocker, super cute. And that's it for this little guy. So I think I'm gonna make an update to the sweet sock pattern, but not right now, because it's in French and in English. So I updated the pattern in French, I need to regrade it, and then I need to update the pattern in English. And as I mentioned, I really don't like doing that. Translating, updating patterns, I just don't like it. So it's not for right now. And also it's a free pattern, so yeah, no pressure. But one day, the fingering weight version of the sweet socks with the stripes and the picot edge will happen one day. Okay, so now we can talk about the works in progress. So the first one, let's talk about the boring one first. It's just a pair of socks. Because I knew I would quickly have nothing left on my needles because I finished the big one that I'm going to show you afterwards. I finished the Plume top, and by the way, I forgot to tell you that I added silk ribbons here, and they are blue. They were black before, but they were a bit too short, so I bought a new one, and I didn't have black anymore, so I took blue, but I preferred black. Navy blue is boring, so maybe I'm gonna buy another one in black if I can find it, whatever. Yeah, so I finished this one, and then I finished the mixed rib, so I needed to preemptively cast on something portable so that I wouldn't run out of knitting. So I did, and I cast on 2 socks with my leftovers from a sweater that I finished lately. And this is Heavy Merino by Knitting for Olive in the colorway French Anémone, Anémone Française. It's a beautiful purpley blue color. And it's just like the simplest sock ever, except it's ribbed on the top, so maybe not the simplest. And it has a short row heel. It's very similar to the sweet socks, except the sweet socks are knit top down, and this is toe up, and it has ribbing. So no pattern, I guess, I just did it out of my head. And I'm knitting those, so they are a bit special, because I'm knitting them at kind of a loose gauge for socks, so I'm using 3.75 needles. Usually for a yarn like this, for socks, I would go like 3.25, maybe 3.5, but yeah, I went up some needle sizes because I wanted the fabric to be airy and like squishy and not particularly sturdy or anything, because I'm not gonna walk with these, because those are gonna be for the van, when we sleep in the van with Mr. Tinks, and it's super cold at night, and there is no heating in the van because it's old, and the heating doesn't work half of the time. And I need something to warm up my feet, and lately I've been really suffering because it's too cold at night. So I want to make socks that are really, really warm. So that's the case for those. And they are also not tight at all. They are almost no ease, I would say. I mean, a little bit of negative ease, but not that much. Usually I like tight socks with a dense fabric, and those are not tight and not dense. And I'm gonna make the leg like super long and then fold it so that I can tuck my pants inside them, because otherwise I wake up in the middle of the night and my calf is cold because my pants ride up my leg. First world problem, I know. Yeah, so I have those going, and I'm not using as much yarn as I was expecting, which is a bit disappointing because I'm trying to stash bust this yarn, but it's okay. It's okay. Alright, that's all for this work in progress. Now we can talk about the big one, which is kind of finished, to be honest. So it's my Patagonia Peaks. Wow! It's so beautiful, look at that, oh my god. It's blocked, it's dry, it's almost done, but the knitting is done. Oh, I'm so pleased. The yarn, before I forget, is Robinson by De Rerum Natura. The colors are on the screen. I told them 600 times already. And I just need to add the button here on the pocket and the pocket lining, and also the fabric lining in the inner side of the button placket. I need to undo the bind off of this one. And I want to use like iron-on lining so that it really sticks to the fabric. And then put the, not buttons, the press fasteners on that, which is why I want to reinforce the fabric, otherwise I'm just going to tear it apart. And I want to be able to open it without having to be too careful. I also need to sort the bottom elastic here. So I have already inserted it here, but I still need to find the exact length I want, which is trickier than you would think. And then it's going to be done. So I'm not going to try it on because I'm completely overheating and I really don't want to put another layer. Probably this merino like wool non-superwash is warmer than I thought, but it's also very humid and heavy today, so it's probably also why I'm overheating. But yeah, I talked about this a lot already. I do have something to say about the color work because I was worried if it would block out or not, because my color work tension is horrendous because lately I've been knitting color work with boucle and the boucle was hiding all my imprecisions, but this is not boucle, so you can really see how ugly my tension is. And the thing that happens is that, so when I knit color work, I'm usually a continental knitter, so I hold the yarn in the left hand. But when I do color work, I have one yarn in the left hand and the other one in the right hand, and I English style, like this. And since I don't want my floats to be tight, I overcompensate and I knit really loosely, but only with the right hand. So the stitches that are formed with my right hand are super mega loose. And with a motif like this, it's really obvious, like maybe you can see here, it makes like bubbles. I mean, the overall width of the motif is straight. It's not as if it was puckering like this. The problem is not in the floats. The problem is that the stitches of that color are too wide and they are doing some kind of bubbles here. It's a little bit as if the float was too wide, but was too short, but the float is not too short. It's that the stitches are too big, so they are trying to explode out of the space they have. I don't know how to explain. It got better as I progressed through the project, but this first row here is really looking pretty bad. And yeah, you can kind of see it happening here. It looks like puckering, but it's not puckering. But the effect is the same. Whatever, same but different. And yeah, it's really bothering me, so I'm considering going back into the stitches of those peaks here and individually take out the extra slack of the stitches that are too big, so that then the floats are going to be bigger on the wrong side, but I don't really care about that, so that the stitches are the same size. You can actually see the stitches are kind of sloppy, even after blocking in those areas. It's, yeah, whatever. We'll see. The photo shoot is tomorrow morning, so I really don't think I'm going to have the time to do that, especially considering I would need to reblock it, at least steam block it after I do this manipulation, otherwise it's just going to go back to the initial position. So I'm probably not going to have the time to do that, but in an ideal world, I would. So it's kind of a work in progress, but also it's finished. And the photo shoot is tomorrow, and the release is going to be 21st of May. Thursday, the 21st of May, which is in 2 weeks, which is the date of the next podcast. I don't think there's going to be a video next week. And speaking about release, in 2 weeks, so the 21st of May, I was going to say March, it was also supposed to be the release of the shimmy shorts, which is a pair of shorts, design of mine that's currently in testing and that a lot of people are eagerly waiting on. But there were some hiccups in the test, and there's really a lot of knitting in those, so a few testers have asked if they could have more time, so I was like, yeah, sure, because it's a summer design anyway. I don't care if it comes out in May or in June. It's still summer, and you're still gonna have the time to knit it during the rest of the summer. So I pushed the release by 3 weeks, meaning it will come out on the 11th, 13th of June, something like that. mid-June. It's gonna be here. Yeah, hopefully it's for the best, because the fit of the like crotch area is really tricky, because I really don't want to have a camel toe. And a few testers had the issue of the crotch like sagging like that, because there are too many stitches. But if the crotch is too short, then you have the camel toe issue. So it's, yeah, really difficult to find a sweet spot. And of course the sweet spot is different for everyone. So it's really difficult to find a way to explain how to find the sweet spot depending on your preference, how you wear the shorts, the ease you have, all of that. Yeah, it's a bit tricky. So I push the release. It's best for the testers, and it's also better for me, because otherwise I would have a double release of the Patagonia plus the shimmy shorts, which are both very difficult patterns to write up and to correct and to all of that. So it would just be too much. So I pushed back the release and I am relieved. It was the best course of action. My last work in progress, which, as I said at the beginning, is not really a work in progress yet because it's still swatches, but the swatches are huge, so it's a work in progress. So I have more than one, but I'm going to show you the bigger one, the first one. Ta-da-da-da! I mean, look at this. It's the size of my top. It could be a sleeve because it's so big. Yeah, so as you can see, it's gonna be a textured sweater with like different layers of textures with something dividing them with ribbing. Believe it or not, it's gonna have ribbing. I think it has happened once in the past that one of my patterns have ribbing. And I'm trying to find the best combination between the different textures. So let me talk about the yarn. I don't have any skein with me. There you go. So this is yarn by Woolen Twine Fiber Studio. Beautiful. And it's the Solace worsted base. It's a gorgeous blend of 75% Rambouillet and 25% brown Blueface Leicester. It's incredibly soft. It's super bouncy. It's like a bit shiny. It has a gorgeous drape, as you can see. Oh my goodness! And I really love it. Like, it has kind of a luxe feeling when you knit with it. Like, really you feel like you have something super expensive between your hands. It's awesome. And it's very soft. I'm not sure if it's going to be next to skin soft. I mean, between my hands, it's buttery soft, and just like that, I would be absolutely 100% convinced that it's next to skin soft. That's super hard to say. However, I know that my hands are not the rest of my body, and what my hands think is next to skin soft is not necessarily the case. I have been disappointed in the past. So I'm going to do, maybe tonight or this weekend, I'm going to do the test where I'm going to like stick this inside one of my t-shirts and spend a few hours like that, seeing if the fabric is itchy against my skin or not. I haven't done the test yet, so I cannot really tell you, but we'll see. But right now, I can definitely feel something like this, but I'm not sure if it's like I'm just feeling the texture or if it's going to be itchy, because it's not the same. We'll see. I will do the test. But anyway, it's going to be like a super oversized sweater, so it's not absolutely crucial that it's next to skin like negative is soft. So it's going to be fine anyway, I think. I have sweaters that I wear a lot that are less soft than that, so it's going to be fine. And I know for a fact that the thing, if something is itchy for me, it's going to be the Blueface Leicester, because I know Rambouillet, most Rambouillet are absolutely next to skin soft for me. I hate saying that, next to skin soft. So it's the BFL that makes me a bit worried, but yeah. My plan, obviously, is to make one of those, how do you say that? Texture strick. I don't know how you say that, but it's like there was a specific name to call those, like the storm sweater and the one from Sandnes Garn, all of that. Like, yeah, I really love those sweaters, and I have always wanted to make one for myself, but they all have the same construction, which is the European shoulder with you have the trapezoid on the back, and I really don't like the feel of this construction on myself. So I decided to just make one myself with a different construction. I don't know yet which one, but we'll see. I really want to make it bottom up because I like trying out new stuff, and I have knit a few bottom-up sweaters in the past, but I have never designed one myself. And I'm just curious. I just like to try things I have never tried before. But I know you're not going to be happy. Whenever I talk about that, I get comments of people that are like, but you're going to sell more patterns if you do it top down. And I'm like, yeah, but not everything is made to sell more patterns. I would like to, at least. But you're right. So I'm not going to do it bottom up. But yeah, I still don't know what construction I'm going to use. But let me talk to you about the thought process behind this. So this is not finished at all. I'm just trying to make decisions, and I'm struggling because there are too many options. First, let me show you something. I was chatting with Sandy again about me trying to find interesting stitches to put in a sweater like this. And she told me about this book that she owns. It says 400 points de tricot by Marie-Claire. Marie-Claire is like a feminine magazine thing where you can do like personality test and yeah, just feminine magazine stuff. I think you see what I mean. They also have stuff that are linked to feminine activities like knitting. That's a bit cringe. And this is a pretty old book, and it's also in French, which is very interesting for me to learn the French terminology of the knitting things, because I don't really know them, which is why I don't like translating patterns, because I'm faced with the fact that I cannot translate stuff in my own language because I don't know the words in French. Yeah, but there are also a few stitches that you don't find in like the big Vogue book where you have all the stitch dictionaries, the most popular ones, and there are stitches in this that you don't find in the big popular ones, which is very interesting. So Sandy lended this book to me, and I flipped through it, and I landed on this stitch that I find very interesting. It really looks like cables, but it's not. It's just knits and pearls. But yeah, I really liked it. So I based everything around this. So the way I work when I try to like find new design idea, and it's not that the idea comes to me and then I try to put it into a sweater, but here is kind of the opposite. I have the sweater like a blank canvas and I want to slap stuff on it. It's kind of what I'm doing here. I use the same logic as when, as an architect, you try to draw a building. I'm saying that because I used to be an architect. So that's how I learned to design stuff. You try to have like guidelines and criterias, and you play with those constraints. Because if you have no criteria at all and everything is possible, then it's impossible to get to a clear idea. And then you go in all directions and it gets messy and unclear, and yeah, it doesn't look good. So you have to give yourself constraints and rules to play within. So my rules were that I wanted to have bands of texture, and I wanted to have one that was vertical, one that was horizontal, and one that was in diagonal. So this one was obviously in diagonals. So I needed to find one that was vertical and another one that was horizontal. So I flipped through the pages and I landed on those. So this is diagonal. This is the one I showed you in the book. This is vertical. And then for the horizontal, it became a bit more unclear. It's a bit difficult to show. So here you have little squares of texture that are like en damier. I don't know how you say that in English. And here it's kind of the same idea. But as you can see, you cannot really see anything. And that's because I think the gauge is too loose and you lose the stitch definition. Because this is just combinations of knits and pearls. And as you know, when you do ribbing, you want to go down at least a few needle sizes from the suggested needle for the like stockinette reference of the yarn you're using. Otherwise, the ribbing is going to look sloppy. And it's kind of what's happening with the fabric here, because I used 4.5 millimeters. And for a combination of knits and pearls, even if the yarn is worsted weight, it's a bit too loose and you just lose the definition. You cannot see anything. Here, you don't really see what's happening. I mean, you definitely couldn't think that this looks like cables, despite in the book it really looks like cables, because it's just too flat, especially after blocking. It was a bit better before blocking, but yeah, you're gonna have to block your sweater. So this one is still pretty, it comes out pretty well, but this one also, you cannot really see anything unless I really find the side lighting that will make the stitches pop out. But yeah, it's not great. plus the stitch I used here to do the separations. So usually in those kind of sweaters you have like a row of pearls or 2 rows of pearls. I didn't want that because it's too easy. There's something a bit more like out there, a bit more original, I would say. So this is kind of not brioche, but it's like not knit 1 below, but it's knit 2 belows combined with ribbing. It's not difficult to do, but it was an interesting stitch. And in the book, it looked awesome. It's this one. And here it looks great, but at this gauge, it just looks sloppy. The stitches are very uneven, and yeah, it just doesn't look good. So I tried again here with the smaller needle. So this is 4.5, and here I switched to 4. It's a bit better, but it's still looking a bit sloppy. I'm just not convinced. So I'm gonna try to find something else. But before that, I knit a swatch in stockinette because I would like to give the gauge, the reference gauge in stockinette before having you knit a swatch in the texture, because it's easier to find a yarn when you have the gauge in stockinette. So I did that. I still need to block it, but this is done on 4mm this time. The fabric is quite stiff, but I know with blocking it's gonna loosen up a bit. But the interesting thing is that the gauge I have here unblocked is 22.5. So once blocked, it's probably gonna be like 22 or 21 stitches, which is a DK weight gauge, despite the name of the yarn being worsted. However, I think if I was using a DK weight yarn at DK weight gauge, then I would still have the sloppy fabric. So I think for my knits and pearls combinations, you need heavy yarn, like a worsted weight yarn, or heavy DK at a DK weight gauge, I think. I need to find other yarns to try and swatch, which I do have in stash. I have some heavy DK worsted weights and DK weights, so I'm going to swatch with those and see what happens. Let's come back to my criteria. So I wanted vertical, horizontal, diagonal. So yes, this is the right side. This is the diagonal, but you cannot see anything. It got completely lost. This is the vertical. It's very obvious. It works really well. I really like it. And I also like the wrong side. I mean, yeah, it also looks good. But I think this one, I think I prefer this one. It just looks like, how do you say blé? The thing you use to make bread. Blé? It looks like the plant in the fields, the crop field. Yeah, I think you see what I mean. So I like this. This is absolutely beautiful on its own. However, it's a bit too vertical. You can see those two. And I don't want to have two vertical textures. The crossing motif, the damier motif of the little moss stitch or whatever, seed stitch sections is not enough to break the verticality of the stitches. So I think those two, I would have to take out one of those. And I prefer this one, so I think this one has to go. So I added this one to replace this one because I could see immediately that those were too vertical. So I tried another one that was more horizontal, this one, so you can see the stripes of garter stitch. And it also has kind of a damier, oh, I really need to find this word, checkerboard. The checkerboard motif, because you have the vertical like stripes of stockinette and then the horizontal garters. So I figured maybe instead of, because I'm trying to find something horizontal, but I figured since I already have the horizontals here to separate the motifs, maybe the third one can be checkerboard instead of horizontal. So the checkerboard here is getting lost into the vertical lines, so I don't think this is the one. And the checkerboard here kind of works. However, if you put this one next to this one, they look very similar, especially because the gauge is too loose. But I think since I want 3 textures, at some point those two are gonna be next to each other. So I think they are too close. But I'm wondering if the one that needs to go is not the top one, because it's just not working. I would need to go down too many needle sizes compared to the other textures to make it work, to give like the fake cables effect. But I decided to still give it another try. So I did another swatch on 4mm this time. So I did the first texture, the one I'm absolutely sure to keep, the vertical one. it's looking awesome. And then I started the diagonal texture, like the fake cables. And unblocked, it looks fine. I mean, for now you cannot see anything because I don't have enough. But I have to see if I lose the 3D effect with blocking or not. Suspense. And if it doesn't work, then it's sad, but I'm gonna have to let it go, even though it was the one that kind of started it all. But yeah, if I cannot make it work, it's not worth it. So yeah, I'm gonna still have to play around with those. And as you can see here, I changed the horizontal detail. I tried a lateral braid. I think it's called a Latvian braid. No, not, maybe Estonian braid. Because the Latvian braid is the one where you have 2 colors, maybe, I'm not sure. And this one, it's a lot easier to do. You don't have to twist the colors, and you can do it in a round with a lot of stitches very easily. And I think it looks nice. It's a lot more subtle than the other one, but it also looks a lot neater. I still have to think a little bit, but I think I'm leaning with this one. And if I'm not happy, I can still go with the pearl rose. But I would like this to work. I'm gonna see once it's blocked. And yeah, that's the state of the research for now. And I'm having a lot of fun. It's awesome. I like the designing process, and hopefully I can find something that I'm happy with. And that's also fun to knit, because something else is that this one, not particularly fun to knit. It's kind of difficult to keep track, and I really had to stay focused to knit it, so it's like a little bit killing the joy. This one was super fun to knit, like really flawless, super easy, and absolute joy. So it also counts. This is beautiful, but kind of a pain in the butt, so I'm really not sure. I will have to see. Yeah, a lot of things I have to take into considerations, a lot of things. Also the gauge, because the gauge of those stitches are not exactly the same, and I want to also use stitches that have kind of a similar stitch gauge. Otherwise you're gonna have issues where like the body is gonna whoop when you have a stitch that's wider than the rest, or you're gonna have to like decrease stitches before you start a section and then increase when you're done. Designing is complicated, but I'm gonna do it. It's awesome. I love it. So yeah, I think that's it. Yes, I'm done. I have talked about everything today. So photo shoot tomorrow morning. I'm almost ready. I just need to finish the press fasteners thing on this. And it was actually supposed to be yesterday, but it was rainy and super cold, and I have a lot of summer tops to take in pictures. So we are like, we can just push the shoot until we have sun. It's going to be so much better. And the location is going to be awesome. There's going to be flowers involved, and I have high hopes. But also when I have high hopes, sometimes I'm disappointed. So I'm trying not to have too much high hopes, but we'll see. I'm still super excited. And this weekend, or beginning of next week, the update of the muscle tank pattern in French with a discount code. So if you wanted to buy this pattern, please wait until the discount is live. It will be announced on Instagram. In 2 weeks, it's going to be the release of the Patagonia Peaks with a new podcast episode. No podcast or no video next week, as I said. And I think that's it. Test call for the Plume top at the end of the month. Yeah, whatever. There are a lot of stuff happening. Follow me on Instagram. Everything is going to be there. And yeah, that's all. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss out on any future content from me. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. It's very, very well appreciated. I hope to see you again next time in 2 weeks. And until then, happy knitting. I love you.